On today's edition of Trends on KDM, we are going to talk about a conversation by Akosua Agyapong. Akosua Agyapong is one of Ghana's finest musicians. I mean, she's a veteran musician in Ghana, and she said something that I would like us to go deep into it. Now, she's speaking about the fact that now marriages has become a problem in this side of the world. Why? Because she feels women have overburdened men. There's a lot of burden on men, and most women don't really care about what their husbands are going through. They make unusual demands. They make a lot of demands that sometimes it even blows the mind. But in this same scenario, most of these women will be the people that are not really paying rent, paying school fees, or not doing anything at home. So averagely, the Ghanaian woman is always will fold his arms and expect the husband to provide.
Ubase and Tomana mi bisa wono nano ye na nkase me ko no first kan mame wonyi mazia ko bisa mame no first kan mo on bodam on rent on be mani twe bibia o enye twa bia no ye ama me man bebre so mo nware enti e ma no mo nkotan papa no nware mo se mo ni mo nyansa na mo yete mo nya ready say mo besua be mani ye ade o ye ade be mani bi ye hu o mo ni mo nyansa ya te ase. The man my memory baby so free. Oh, a papa no go share wrong ones. No, wrong ones I go share. Me say oh you be my team here. So no go worry Satan cousin metal fee.
Now that's a very it's debatable. It's hugely debatable. It's something that we can debate a lot because different homes have different kind of settings. But generally speaking, when it comes to our tradition in Ghana, the man is the one that is supposed to be the head of the family in terms of provision and carrying responsibilities, especially in finances. Now, quite recently, there has been a huge reduction in marriages. Most young people are not going into marriages because men feel like there is nothing in it for them. You see, it's a very dicey situation to talk about because in one hand, you would say you understand why this whole thing is happening and why men or young men now don't want to really invest into marriages. Because somebody will talk about the issue of how this whole paternity fraud and a whole lot of stuff is making waves on the internet. And the fact that marriages is now just an arena of responsibilities for most men. Most men are fathers. The more you grow, the more you grow, the more you grow, the more you respect your father. Because marriage for a man, Charlie, it's not child's play. But on the flip side, you can argue because women also have other responsibilities that they do at home. I mean, normally woman is supposed to be the caregiver. He's supposed to take care of the house, make sure the house is in order, make sure that he prepares meals, make sure that if in case she has to give birth, now the responsibility of taking care of a child, See, I've had the opportunity to be close to a few friends, one or two friends that have given birth, and in conversations with them, I realized that giving birth is not a child's play. Even from when you give birth, going through the whole pregnancy, 9 months, and eventually bearing the child, giving birth to the child, even there's a lot of complication that comes with even the medical process if you actually delivering a baby. Mind you, stay with me. I want to be fair with this argument. I don't want to be one-sided, yes. So people even get to the extent that some of the women go to the extent of even risking their lives. Okay, we have unfortunate situations whereby women have lost their life because of childbirth. Now, after childbirth, when the child is very young, now you literally have to take yourself through like series of sleepless nights because the baby will be crying and doing a whole lot of things that you yourself, you have to make sure that, Charlie, you are not sleeping. And within that period, all my friends that have been into that situation, they really experience serious weight loss because if your child is not sleeping, how can you sleep? So I believe that they also have their responsibility as caregivers, right? And then we have our responsibility as people that are supposed to go out there and look for a way to actually serve the house or provide for the home. Because look, I'm not too sure if I can put myself in a position of actually being the caregiver. I mean, staying home, being a stay-home dad, and then Charlie, a child will be crying and I'm not sleeping. Charlie, it's hugely stressful. There's some level of maternal instinct that you have to have before you are able to actually go through that process. And I'm not sure I've developed myself or have the capacity enough to go through that. So I believe that my wife, my future wife, has to go through that for me. And in turn, I will sort of, compensate for that kind of stress she's gone through by going out there to also actually have money to actually provide for the home. Okay, but this is where the imbalance comes in. Now the woman is providing, is sort of doing her duties, and the man is doing her duties. But you know, the man's duty is almost every day. Okay, but the woman's duty, at some point when you give birth, at least it sort of minimizes a bit, because when the child grows up now, the child can take care of herself or himself. So the stress is down. But for the man, Charlie, it goes on and on and on and on and on till God knows when. And when you go to some foreign countries, there's a 50-50, and even there's a reasonable share of responsibilities. Not every country though, but at least the wife will come in and try to support the man. I'm not saying there are certain homes in Ghana that doesn't happen, but in Ghana here, it's not like that. And looking at the economic situation in this country itself, and how things are difficult here to actually come up with finances, most men are dying early death because there's a lot of pressure on them. Men are not even sleeping at their home. Some are traveling outside to just make sure that they can provide for their home. Because if they stay in their country, they can't provide for their family. So with this issue that Akosua Agyapong has raised, I feel it's a very, very necessary conversation that we have to have as a society, because marriage is an institution that is very vital to our society, especially Ghana, because you need the male energy and the female energy to sort of help a child to develop to be a responsible adult and a beneficial human resource for the community, for the country, and for the world at large. But how can you do that if in these cases most men are running away from marriage because of some of this responsibility that comes with it? Charlie, the girls too, we did beg. Sometimes we know it's the man's duty to go out there and make sure that things works out well. You see, the last time I was talking to someone and I was like, look, so imagine you and your wife are doing the same job, having in the same workspace, you are getting the same salary, and the wife will not use her money. Usually the wife is not supposed to use the money, because there's the notion that the wife's money belongs to her and the husband's money belongs to all of us. Okay, so now usually the wife doesn't use the money. And even if you are taking, let's say you are taking 50,000 at the end of the year, at the end of the month, you are going to use your money to take care of the home. And the wife, I don't know whether she's going to use it to save, or maybe sort of use it as a backup money for the house, but usually they usually don't touch their money in most cases in Ghana here. And my question will always remain that, is marriage is it not supposed to be a partnership? I thought it's supposed to be let's do this together, let's do this life together. Okay, you bring some, I bring some. It doesn't really matter whether it's finances or mental support, emotional support, spiritual support. It has to be, the love has to be comprehensive, right? So why is it that when it gets to the issue of finances, it seems there's a whole lot of burden on men? And I believe this is the same thing, this is the same question that Akosua Agyapong is saying. Our mother is talking about that. Some men have married devils and in human form, and they should be very careful, because Charlie, right now the women out there, they are all about their money. Most of them are all about their money and what they will get for marriages. And it seems we the men have also figured it out that it seems we are not loved properly until we are putting something on the table. So men are really rethinking their decision to really go into invest into marriages. And I believe that personally it's a very concerning thing that we should all talk about. We should have a very serious conversation about this whole thing and why marriages are right now declining in our society, because it's not the best for all of us. I don't know what you think about this, but seriously, for me, I think that we we have to have a conversation about this, a serious conversation about what the expectation of women are in marriages and what the expectation of men in marriages should be, so that at least we can, properly, do things how it's supposed to be done in marriage, so that we save the future of marriage. Other than that, some years to come, I doubt there will be only baby mummies and baby daddies, and marriages will be a thing of the past. I hope it doesn't happen that way, but from how things are going, I don't know. Maybe we will get there. Anyway, with that one said, I'll end today's edition of Trends on KDM here. My name remains Donald, and not Trump. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.